This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball on the banks of the Mississippi. We're at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Don't cry, the Cardinals trying to avoid the sweep. And it's the Padres and the Cardinals in game number 3. Jim Hayes is here. That's Rick Horton. I'm Dan McLaughlin. And welcome to Cardinals baseball. Trying to avoid the sweep. And the Cardinals will send the veteran Adam Wainwright to the mound. And the issue, though, in this series at times for the Cardinals has been their bullpen. And we thought that this could be a real strength. Well, on the road trip it was sometimes, and sometimes it hasn't been. How do you surmise the first week?
Well, it's part of the slow start for the Cardinals. There's not been enough consistency. If you look at the ERA collectively of the Cardinal relievers, middle of the pack in the National League, 4.13. But too many home runs allowed and way too many walks. That was certainly an issue here yesterday for the Cardinals staff. And the Cardinals have made some moves today to try to strengthen both the left and the right side of the bullpen. They brought up both Giovanni Gallegos and Tyler Webb to help out that bullpen.
So Gallegos is here, and Webb. Alex Reyes, Jairo Munoz sent to AAA. Marcelo Zuna put one in Big Mac land yesterday. The studio talks about the Cardinals left fielder. We're moments away from our first pitch at game number 3. Very nice and comfortable temperature here at the ballpark, and another big crowd here at Busch Stadium in downtown St. Louis. Jim Hayes is here. Rick Horton. I'm Dan McLaughlin. It's 75 degrees on a Sunday afternoon here in St. Louis.
Well, it's a day the Cardinals are trying to avoid a sweep. Andy Green, the manager for the 4th straight season of the San Diego Padres, has his team playing very good baseball. They've got a very different look with Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr. on the left side, and Mike Schilt, who was so good, Dan, a season ago, 50th Cardinal all-time manager. His team off to a 3-5 start. A lot of close games, but they've not all gone the Cardinals' way.
I love this shot right here. Live look. Adam Wainwright taking the mound. Your cameraman right in the middle of the action. 6'7" Adam Wainwright, in making his home debut here in 2019. First time out was against the Pirates. That was their home opener on Monday. It was 37 degrees that afternoon. He went 4 innings, gave up 4 hits. The 4 earned, and a little bit surprising, the 4 walks, because his control in spring training was very good.
But not that day, and especially the fastball. I've long said that the fastball, the key pitch for Adam Wainwright. Of course, we know how good his curveball is. He used it 41% of the time in that last outing because he couldn't get the fastball over. The curveball's much more devastating, Dan, if he's spotting the fastball first.
That's the lens of Phil Nichols, our staff on Fox Sports Midwest, and works and works and works. Good job, Phil. Ian Kinsler leads things off, followed by Eric Hosmer and Manny Machado, Hunter Renfroe, then Reyes, Tatis Jr., Hedges, Manuel Margot, and Matt Strom, the pitcher. Kinsler hitting 167 with a home run, and he's driven in 1 this year. The Padres are 6-3 to start this season. Game back of the Dodgers. We'll see the Dodgers tomorrow. They're off to a good start. They're 7-2.
Really good with the long ball. Cody Bellinger has been hard to contain. He leads the National League in both home runs and RBIs. We'll see him this week.
And the first pitch delivered by Wainwright is taken just a bit low, and we're underway. The crew chief Mark Wegner is calling the balls and strikes. And a ground ball to short. DeYoung, 1 away. Stats with lows. Adam Wainwright, his career against the Padres at home. You can't get much better.
He's been good anyway, both in San Diego and here, but much better here at Busch Stadium. 5-0 with 6 starts, each one of them a quality start.
Eric Hosmer had an opposite field home run in game 2 yesterday. 3 for 16 against Adam Wainwright. Batting .266 overall, and he's driven in 5. Wainwright couldn't get a grip on that baseball, asked to throw it out, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. The big signing by the Padres last year was Hosmer. But as you mentioned, Ricky, it is a completely different team and lineup with the guy on deck and Manny Machado, and then the decision to bring up the 20-year-old. He just turned 20, Fernando Tatis Jr.
Machado here in St. Louis took the entire team out to dinner when they first came here. And one of the younger players said, "I've never been around something like this." And I think that's the point. I think Machado's trying to elevate, and of course Tatis as well, the kind of the presence of what it means to be a San Diego Padre.
I was in the clubhouse of the Padres today, and Tatis walked by. I was introduced to him. I said, "You are not like your daddy." He is big, tall, slender, and his dad was short, compact. But man, that young man can flat out play.
One of the top, I would say, preseason favorites for the Rookie of the Year. I think he'd be on that list.
No doubt.
On the short list, I mean.
He showed off his arm yesterday, and he's also hit a home run in this series. Swing and a miss. Strikeout for Wainwright in his first of the afternoon. And the Cardinal defense, as we go around the horn, presented by Dobbs. Ozuna, Bader, Fowler in the outfield. Carpenter, DeYoung, Wong, and Goldschmidt on the infield, and Yadier Molina behind the plate. And in steps Manny Machado. Cardinals elected not to pitch around Machado yesterday, Ricky, and they got burned.
Well, they had first base open, and the thought was you could either get burnt by Machado or face Hunter Renfroe, who had also been swinging the bat well, a home run and a double in the series, and they chose Machado, and it didn't work.
That's pop back foul out of play. No balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Here in the top of the first at Busch Stadium. That first start, Adam Wainwright did not throw a lot of fastballs, but he struck out Hosmer with the fastball. And the 0-2.
Well, he gave up on it early because it was all over the place. He was missing his location by a foot at times. He actually dropped his arm angle down, I thought, Dan, the second inning and beyond, to try to get a little sink with the fastball to at least make it serviceable, but he was struggling.
Out to center. Bader going back on the track, looks up, and it's off the wall. Plays it perfectly. A strike into second, but no one there. And Machado is in with a double. What a throw by Bader, right on the bag.
Yeah, I think that's a mental mistake by Paul DeYoung. He just didn't think that was remotely possible, that Machado would be potentially out at second base, but that would have been a close play. He was trailing Colton Wong, and I think as the ball hits off the top of the fence, there's the throw. Big time throw, and it's right on the money, except Paul catches it way in front of the bag. Now, by the time the ball got to the bag, maybe Machado was safe anyway, but I would like to have found out.
My assumption would be that DeYoung is thinking if the throw comes in, it's going to be to third, and it's a double all the way for Manny Machado. Either way, runner at second, and now 2 down. Renfroe has never faced Adam Wainwright. Bader could not have played that any better. And a breaking ball drops in for a strike at 76 miles an hour. Also makes you wonder if Machado thought he had a home run.
Well, and that's the other part, and that's the thing as a shortstop, you just can't assume. You can't really assume that Machado's getting a great jump out of the box, and again, the throw's going to come into the base. You're trailing anyway. It doesn't matter. You might as well trail at the second base bag. Let Wong get to the point where if Bader tries to hit the cutoff man, he throws it to the guy in front, which would have been Colton, and they were lined up to second base. It's just Paul did not even remotely consider that to be possible.
The Padres 4 for 25 with runners in scoring position in this series. The 0-2 swing and a miss. He struck him out. Wainwright, a pair of strikeouts. Another runner stranded by San Diego. The top of the lineup coming up for St. Louis. No score at the bottom of the first. Now 4 for 26. The Padres runners in scoring position. That is a storyline continuing here in game 3. The lineup: Carpenter, Goldschmidt, DeYoung, then Ozuna, Molina, Fowler, Bader, Wong, and Wainwright. Matt Strahm 2 2/3. Last time out against the Arizona Diamondbacks as he allowed 8 hits and 5 earned in that game. And Carpenter hits a high fly ball into center all the way to that 400-foot sign, and it's caught by Margot.
Well, that probably woke up Mr. Strahm, who throws 49% fastball, slider, curveball change. Fastball and curveball are his most effective pitches in terms of location. He's a guy that has had terrific numbers as a reliever, and that's what he's done mostly in his career. But the Padres are using him as a starter here in 2019.
There's Paul Goldschmidt hitting .219. That was a rare first pitch swing by Carpenter, and maybe that's a sign of things to come by this Cardinal lineup.
Could
be aggressive.
Be aggressive today, and Carpenter almost added to his total of the most leadoff home runs in Cardinal history last year, passing the great Lou Brock.
I wish you wouldn't have brought that package of onions on opening day when Lou Brock walked out to take his spot among the Hall of Famers. You know, you brought the onions, and I don't know why you do that, but every time when Lou's here and you got the onions out on opening day, just something happens to me, and
you start crying. And I don't. And
I get a little misty-eyed.
And I'll take the blame for it. I'll fall on the sword for you there, Danny. But it is special. I mean, Lou's presence here at the ballpark, and anytime you're around Lou, when he was in spring training, Dan, we saw him. Players could not wait to get a chance to be with Lou Brock. He has just a magnetic personality. He and his wife Jackie both, and love them both, and just honored to call them friends.
Love that man. It's fouled back. Opening day makes me think of my father, who's been deceased for over 20 years, and the connection of baseball in this town. And I bet my mom in South City's watching. So, Mom, thanks for letting Olivia spend the night last night. That'd be my 10-year-old daughter. That's it sharply to third, and Machado makes the play. Padres defense: Renfroe, Margot, and Reyes in the outfield. Machado, Tatis Jr., Kinsler, Hosmer, and Austin Hedges behind the plate. It is different, though, in this town. That opening day in St. Louis and the opening week here in St. Louis. Baseball is back. 2 outs, and here's Paul DeYoung, who homered on that day. That was the first Cardinal hit, and it took a while for the Cardinals against a left-hander to get going that afternoon.
Well, DeYoung is again hit in 7 straight games. He doesn't have the high batting average, but he can attack and strike quickly.
2 balls and no strikes on the Cardinals shortstop, hitting .229. He's popped 3 homers and driven in 5. Been talking about this a lot. Predictable counts no longer. That's a 2-0 breaking pitch to Paul DeJong. You just don't know what's coming this day and age, do you, Rick?
I think you have to be able to do that. In fact, there are some people that describe the game as a breaking ball game now, despite the fact that guys are throwing in the upper 90s.
And DeJong hits a fly ball into center. Margot backs up, edge of the track, and makes the catch. Cardinals go in order. Wainwright back to work for inning number 2. They're called up, and with more on that, let's check in with Jim.
Yeah, John Mozeliak was pretty clear about it. The roster moves were made today to get some fresh arms for the bullpen, but also to get Alex Reyes some time to try to get right. Mozeliak told me clearly he's not throwing enough strikes. We want him to get consistent work. The plan for Reyes is to have him work out of the bullpen in Memphis, to work multiple innings, to get a couple of days of rest in between. Mike Schilt told me we put him in some high leverage situations. Candidly, we're just trying to make sure he's got the right stuff for it. And then both Schilt and Mozeliak say they hope to get Reyes back as soon as possible.
Reyes grounding out into the shift. And Jimmy, what else stood out from your interview with the president of baseball operations, John Mozeliak?
Well, they talked about Munoz being sent down. Obviously, he hasn't been getting a lot of use. When the team goes to Mexico, they can add a roster spot. They expect him to be back there. And he talked about basically just the slow start for some of the guys like Andrew Miller. But he did say he saw positive signs with Dexter Fowler seeming to find some offensive traction yesterday, and Marcell Ozuna hitting a 455-foot homer yesterday, 112 miles an hour off the bat. Both are good signs, according to Mozeliak.
All right, thank you, Jimmy. And here's Fernando Tatis Jr.
Fernando Tatis is 0 for 1 lifetime against Adam Wainwright, but not this Fernando Tatis.
The other one.
His dad had in that bat and struck out. Let's see how the son does.
Well, if you're Waino, you say, well, that's good. I like that stat, but I faced his dad, now his son. So it is, I'm getting a little older, I guess. Had a great conversation today with Skip Schumacher, the first base coach of the Padres, and he said, Dan, I'm telling you, this guy is the real deal. He said, we've seen some prospects come and go through the Padres last few years. He said, this one is something else. And he said his father has been a huge influence in his life, clearly off the field, but he said his dad also managed him in winter ball, managed him growing up, was very present in his baseball life, where some guys, as you've seen, Rick, former players, kind of stay away.
Yeah.
And that's, by design. But apparently not Senior. He got him a strikeout. That's 3 today for Adam Wainwright.
And notice the velocity of Wainwright is touched 93 with the fastball. That last pitch 91 and perfectly located. Here it is on the outside corner, comes back. Outstanding pitch.
Austin Hedges with 2 outs and nobody on. I mean, Rick Horton had to coach Drew Horton.
I did. He's a big fan of yours, by the way.
Well, I was going to give him trouble. I saw the picture of Drew on his birthday in a Dodger uniform, but then I found out it was his dad's number 29 from LA, and I said, now, okay, I can handle that. No problem.
Well, you'd have found out that it wasn't his fault it was posted, because I posted it as a birthday tribute to him.
Mm-hmm.
And it was from the Dodger reunion last year, or 30-year reunion. But he is, without a doubt, a Cardinal fan.
He's off the hook.
He's off the hook. Waino looking sharp in the early going.
1-2 the count. Austin Hedges. Turn to Rick's Toyota, key to the game.
Well, Waino needs to take command, and not only by throwing strikes, something the Cardinals have not done enough of lately, take command as far as Wainwright's pitching, but also just take command of the game. Go get it. Realize you're the Cardinals and you've got a better team than you've shown here in the first 2 games of the series. Sometimes you just have to just ramp it up a little bit.
He was always in the position of being a number 1, and you would say in a day like this, if you're the number 1, you're the stopper. Two-game losing streak. Get it going. You're the guy. This is the second consecutive 3-2 count that he's dealt with, and the second consecutive strikeout. 2 innings, 4 strikeouts for Wainwright. It's a monster home run hit by Ozuna yesterday, and he's coming up into Big Mac land. My goodness. Kubota power stats: most balls hit, 95 miles an hour. Plus Markakis, Yelich, Ozuna.
And you wouldn't even say it was his best year in 2018.
That was the 4th longest home run hit in the big leagues yesterday.
There's a no doubter, that's for sure. I like him against left-handed pitchers too. He just seems like he sees the ball better, and that, that's not unusual, but it neutralizes the breaking ball as long as he can stay back on the changeup. And Strom will throw a few of those.
Shallow right. Kinsler. 4 up and 4 down.
Danny, the Padres are trying to do something here this afternoon they haven't done since Ozzie Smith was playing shortstop. That sweep the Cardinals in St. Louis. The last time it happened, Ozzie Smith was playing shortstop here in St. Louis for the Padres. That's the last time they had a 3-game sweep here.
Anytime I think of Ozzie in that Padres uniform,
bothers you, doesn't it?
Well, first of all, it does bother me. You're
I
right.
know it does, because you love him.
Good point. Favorite player. I think of that diving play, and then the ball takes a bad hop and he barehands it. It's an unbelievable play by Ozzie.
So when the Padres did sweep the Cardinals back in 1980, a 3-game series in May, the Cardinals had Ted Simmons, Keith Hernandez, Ken Obergefell, Kenny Reitz, George Hendrick,
Templeton,
Bob Forsch, and Templeton was a shortstop. A very good player, an underrated player, I would say, as far as his career is concerned. And of course, the great trade between Ozzie and Templeton worked out in the Cardinals' favor, but the Cardinals were in the middle of, in fact, at the end of a 10-game losing streak when they lost those 3 games in 1980.
Wow.
But Whitey Herzog came in a couple years later and turned things around.
2 balls and 1 strike with 1 out. The batter is Yadier Molina, singled to center field yesterday. A little tardy with that swing. Cardinals thus far against left-handed pitching, worst in baseball in terms of their OPS, on base plus slugging, and they're dealing with another lefty today. The 2-2.
Thought there were good signs yesterday from the middle of the Cardinals order, and I don't mean the middle 3, 4, and 5. I mean 4, 5, and 6. That definition of middle, because Ozuna, Molina, and Fowler all had pretty good at-bats yesterday. They all look much more comfortable, and again, I think that's a good sign. The bottom has been productive, especially with Colton Wong and what he's done. But nice to see these guys in the middle getting better.
And I'm out in front, and it's popped up off the bat of Yadier Molina. And Machado with the catch. April 10th, that's Wednesday. Then Thursday, April 11th. Celebrate our hometown heroes, law enforcement, and firefighters Appreciation Days, presented by American Eagle Credit Union. Purchase of a special theme ticket. Fans receive a Cardinals cap honoring law enforcement or firefighters. And get your tickets at cardinals.com/theme. 5 in a row set down by Strom, and here's Dexter Fowler. It is an important point you make, though. The Cardinals have had production, Bader and Wong in the bottom half. You know, sometimes you get Carpenter, Goldschmidt, the top, but where's the middle? And we did see a little bit of life yesterday.
Fowler in particular had a good game. He was on base 4 times, single, a double, a walk, and reached on an error, but hit the ball hard. And all of that came from the left side.
And the 0-2. Mike Shildt saying before the game, one of the aspects that he likes right now with Fowler is how he is taking some of the pitches. He's getting the walks, and the on-base percentage is there. He's had a few line drives that have been caught, so it's not huge progress, but steady. And when you have a game like yesterday, and right now the average at 182, and a few of the line drives fall, then in beginning of a season you're hitting 230, 240. It's a different look to it.
Yeah, it really is. And you know, it's hard to really make too many conclusions after 8 games.
Right. Hits it sharply to short, and Tatis Jr. makes the play.
Ooh, he's got a cannon.
Yes, he does. 6 up, 6 down. And we move to the 3rd. Fox Sports Midwest will have you covered. First round games right here on Fox Sports Midwest. Missouri Lottery Blues Live, the post-game show after all the games. Blues coverage continues into the playoffs on Fox Sports Midwest. Speaking of the Blues, this is Margot at the plate. Let's check in with Jim. Jimmy.
Yeah, some of the Blues are taking in Cardinals baseball, of course, Wednesday night at Winnipeg. They get their first round Stanley Cup playoff matchup underway. Pat Maroon is with us. So I guess everyone looking at the Blues that saw the first half, which wasn't great, and then the turnaround, which has been amazing. How did that happen?
I just think it just took a few familiar faces that are around the room that just try to get these new guys just feel comfortable in the locker room, feel a little confident. I think with the guys that have been here for a while, just try to make these guys feel confident in themselves and comfortable around the room, and that leads a long way to go out in their play. And you know, we just had a really good second half. I think we just started playing with that swagger, that confidence that we didn't have at the beginning of the year, and it kind of took off.
Bennington's been pretty amazing too, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. He's been really strong, and he's done a really good job of sticking in there and winning some hockey games for us, and we needed that down the stretch, and he's done a really good job, and I'm really proud of him.
I'm not so sure that Craig Berube gets enough credit for their turnaround. Obviously, there was a change made with the head coach, and you guys took the ball or puck and ran with it under Berube.
Yeah, he's done a really good job of just believing our system, believing in the guys. I think right when he took over, he said it from day one, we're going to make the playoffs, and it was a long shot, but we were in last place, and he just believed and believed, and he just kept putting in our heads that, you know, this is a good hockey team. We're going to do some good things. And, you know, we had a really good stretch. You know, January 3rd, we were last place, dead last place in the standings. And now we could have finished first yesterday, but I'm just really proud of the guys of how they overcome it and where we're at right now.
It means a lot to the fans, I'm sure, obviously the players, but for you, St. Louis product, Oakville proud. I mean, to be part of that incredible run.
Yeah, it's fun to be part of that. You know, I was just talking about on the car right here. You know, it's just really neat to be in the playoffs, and especially be in the playoffs with my hometown team. I didn't believe it in the beginning of the year, but you know, we had a really good stretch, and I'm just happy to be a part of this group. That we've been through a lot this year, and to put that Blue Note jersey in the playoffs, it's going to mean a lot more special than the regular season. So I'm really excited to get this playoffs going, and we have a tough matchup against Winnipeg, but I think we match up well against them.
Last thing before we let you go, Yachty was at your game the other night, Waino. We see that from time to time. You guys are here. What does it mean to be part of it where, you know, especially in your hometown, Blues support the Cardinals, Cardinals support the Blues?
Yeah, I think it's great. I think in the past few years they've been kind of connecting, and Blues have been going to the Cardinals game, and like you said, the Cardinals have been going to the Blues game, so it's nice, you know, to meet those guys, and just they're winners, so to be around winners and the belief system with them and how they do things, it's cool to interact with them and what they go through and how their routine. So it's cool to just see what they go through their daily. So I think for us, it's neat. So, you know, we're going to continue to support each other. So I like it.
Good luck starting Wednesday night. As you know, the city has gone crazy for you guys. Thanks for the time.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, guys. Pat Maroon.
Great stuff, Jimmy. And Pat Maroon, remember, was in our booth.
Yes, he was. After being traded here. Yeah.
Well, he signed as
a free agent. Exactly. We were excited about it. And he was saying some of the similar things that we just heard again.
Very end of last season, and they're kicking off the Blues season.
Right.
And he came up here with his young son. He wanted to be closer to his son and had not been able to play pro hockey in St. Louis, and then comes back and signs with his hometown team. And I am glad that Jimmy asked that question. It's guys like Bernie Federko, Al McInnes, Brett Hull, Bob Plager, so many that have worn that sweater with pride and asked what would it mean to go down Market Street with the Stanley Cup. And all of them say, and there's the strikeout. And it's kind of funny to listen to the answers, but they basically all say, I can't imagine what it might be like, and then to have what could be a hometown kid do it. And Pat Maroon, could you imagine that?
Yeah, there's a lot of emotion and a lot of understanding of the fan base and just how important it is in the city and how much they would be embraced. I mean, they're embraced anyway, Dan. Obviously, we're all rooting for and love what the Blues are doing and very proud of the success they've had. But I mean, to win the Stanley Cup, I mean, it would be crazy.
Oh man,
here in St. Louis,
be great,
crazy good.
Infield in, one out, runner at third. Kinsler at the plate. And you may have MLS soccer coming to downtown. Carolyn Kendall Betts leading the charge, and Jim Cavanaugh. Downtown is busy right now, which is important. Mentioned the other day the $8 billion+ of construction happening, and the money and the contracts dedicated to that construction here in downtown St. Louis. One ball and one strike on Ian Kinsler, and he hits it out of play. There's the Greensfelder building. It's one of the top law firms in the country right here in St. Louis. And then you have the Phase 2 project of Ballpark Village. And by the time August rolls in, you're going to have some of the folks moving into some of the office buildings. Lined foul.
Danny, we also had a fact sheet handed to us a couple of days ago about the economic impact that the Cardinals have on the St. Louis community. Over $300 million each year just in extra revenue for hotels and restaurants, et cetera, businesses, and it is such an important part. Sports is not the most important thing in the world, but it's an important part of our business climate for sure.
And a fly ball into right and out of play. And a nice play made down that right field line. Sign him up. Did he bring a glove? It looked like he did.
He got a good jump on it, reached out, there it is. Smooth hands, brought it in. Nice form.
And a smile.
And a story for a lifetime.
You got it. Infield in, one ball and two strikes. Kinsler grounded out to short first time up. Got him to reach. And this one popped up. And it is playable. Goldschmidt, he's got it. Inning started. A play that was ruled a double. You saw Bader slip, and then the pickoff by Molina. That was an error on Yachty. Strikeout of Strom, and now Kinsler, the pop-up.
A little odd to watch Goldschmidt have a little trouble with pop-ups early going here. Even that last play just looks a little bit like he's having a hard time picking up maybe the background of the pop-ups here at Busch Stadium. He just seems more uncomfortable than I would have guessed. He is, again, a Gold Glover, good fielder, but he's missed a couple of them and looked a little bit tentative, I would say, on that last one.
Here's Hosmer. The Padres have had 3 at-bats with runners in scoring position today, and they're 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts, and now that pop-up moments ago. First time through the lineup, 5 strikeouts by Adam Wainwright. Game of adjustments. Let's see second time through. And the 1-1. Flips a curveball up there outside. And that's popped up, got in on his hands and fouled back, and now 2 strikes on Hosmer.
Talked about Wainwright taking command, meaning throwing strikes, something the Cardinals have struggled with. And off to a good start. 32 out of 49 pitches have been in the zone. And he's had very good command of that fastball, and he can get out of this jam. Runner at third base, nobody out, with 1 good pitch here to Hosmer.
The 2-2 did not go.
So close. I would say that one was right on the line. It's a subjective call. I would say that could have gone either way.
Machado on deck. 3-2 pitch to Hosmer. 1-0 Padres. So the base hit into center field with 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd. That scores Margot, and it's 1-0 San Diego.
I think Wainwright was very concerned, didn't want to walk him, so threw a pitch essentially right down the heart of the plate. It looked like it's just a sinking fastball that he was trying to get back over the inner half. Too fast to be a changeup. Hard to say what that pitch was, but Hosmer took care of it.
Now Machado. Mike Maddox watching intently his starter today, and he'd love to see a starter and the staff in its entirety start going deeper into games.
Oh boy. Well, the bullpen woes that we were talking about earlier, and for those who may have missed it, Alex Reyes sent back to AAA, and Jim Hayes had a good report on that. And yeah, I think the idea is he's going to come back, but he's just not quite right in the 4 games he appeared in. He just wasn't the Reyes that you expected. But with the starters going short, I think that just puts a little more pressure on the bullpen to be more perfect every day, and just has not been a strong part of the Cardinals team so far, but it will be.
Mentioned that Reyes will have extended outings. That allows him to work on more things down there too.
You and I were actually talking about that off the air, that it might not be a bad idea yesterday, and it's all to make him better, because if he's better, the Cardinals are better.
Goldschmidt just out of room. It's a similar play to yesterday that you referred to. Kind of tiptoed that area and then overran the ball and wound up being an error on Goldschmidt. But I'm assuming he's just trying to get his bearings straight at a new ballpark here.
Think of how he has not been here that often. Of course, he's been in the league a long time, but not many games played here. And it's very different when you're trying to make it your home field and get used to where the dugouts are and the tarps down the line. All that is it's going to be his home. He's going to be here a while, and he'll learn it.
2-2 the count on Machado, and a check on Eric Hosmer. It's another big crowd here at Busch Stadium. And big crowds for all 3 games here against the Padres, opening up the home portion of the Cardinals schedule. This is only Goldschmidt's 27th career game here at Busch Stadium. All the years with Arizona, now with St. Louis. Two. And the runner off with his next pitch. And a swing and a miss. Breaking pitch. 2 strikeouts in the inning. 6 today for Adam Wainwright. A 3-2 curveball, and Machado strikes out 1-0 midway through 3. Your mobile device. Download the Fox Sports Go app. Log in. Stream the Cardinals. It's presented by T-Mobile. 7, 8, and 9 for the Cardinals. Bader, Wong, and Adam Wainwright. Cardinals trailing 1-0. Wainwright has looked good so far.
Oh, he's looked terrific. I would say better than what we saw even in spring training when his numbers were good. He's just kind of the Wainwright type domination in terms of strikeouts. 6 strikeouts in 3 innings. That's pretty impressive. And he's taken care of the first part of the key to the game. Take command in terms of Waino throwing strikes. Cardinal pitchers throwing strikes. It's been a problem. The second part of that key was for the Cardinals offensively to take command of this game and start getting something going early. And that remains to be seen.
Bader rips it. Love to watch this guy run into the corner. And he will stop at second base standing up. Leadoff double, Harrison Bader. First Cardinal hit.
This ball is smoked into the left field corner, middle in, and he got the bat head out on it, kept his hands inside the ball, and kept it fair. Keep it going.
One thing we saw also in spring training carried over early portion of this year, the at-bats by Wong against left-handed pitching.
Exactly. He looks so comfortable. I was thinking that today with a lefty in, you don't even think about Wong coming out, which essentially in my mind made Jairo Munoz expendable. Nothing that he did wrong in my mind to be sent back to AAA today. But the Cardinals don't need 2 extra infielders. They need more help in the bullpen at the moment because Carpenter's not coming out, the Young, Wong, and Goldschmidt. So you won't even double switch with them.
1 ball, 1 strike. Bader, by the way, hit .292 against left-handed pitching last year, and that carries over to this season. That liner into the corner and left. He's at second base. A ball and a strike on Colton Wong. Wong had a sac fly, RBI in game 2 yesterday.
Always wonder about pitchers who spent most of their time as a reliever. Strom coming over from Kansas City in a 6-player deal has been actually better as a reliever than he has as a starter. But you start to think that second time through the lineup, you think, you know, the longer he goes, is he as effective? And he's not used to doing it. And we'll just see how effective he is today.
Back to him. And Bader back to the bag at second. Wong retired, and so they can't advance him to third.
Strom, by the way, missed a lot of the season in 2017. He had something, Dan, that I am just painfully empathetic about. He had a patella tendon tear, and he missed part of the 2017 season. And of course, for a pitcher with all the stress that you have on your knees, I feel his pain.
My partner, Rick Horton, has his leg propped up on a bucket.
Pretty fancy, isn't it?
It is. We got all the analytics, all the numbers, and still my partner with a bucket up here when his leg propped up on it.
Whatever works.
The old bucket. Runner goes. Bader to third and save. Looked like he went to the outside portion of the bag to avoid that tag, and the throw may have beaten him there, but the tag apparently not applied.
I almost thought that maybe Machado took it too much in front of the bag, and of course he was in a little bit and maybe just didn't get back to the bag in time, and the Padres aren't so sure that he was safe. There's the jump by Bader, and Machado catches it high and in front of the bag, swipes back pretty quickly, and it was just maybe a little bit of a high throw. And did he get him or not?
Yeah, they're going to review this. I think they got him.
I think they did too, and so obviously does Austin Hedges, the catcher. Yeah, I think he's going to be out, Danny.
Bader trying to be aggressive. Another factor of spring training. He had one game in which he had 3 stolen bases. And the Cardinals were running anytime that he got on base, and it didn't matter who was up in the lineup.
So does the tag hit him in the leg right there or not? And I believe it did.
So caught stealing. 2 outs. Nobody on for Adam Wainwright.
We talked yesterday about the ball talk that has really become the staple of the Cardinals with Mike Schilt taking over. He wants his players talking baseball. This is not at all a criticizing thing that he does. He said, let's just talk about it. What do you think? Was this a good? I mean, because the game, it's not that hard and fast anyway about whether you should or shouldn't and what works and what doesn't. But that's the kind of play they'll talk about. And the thing that will come up in my mind in those conversations is you do want to steal third if you can, with 1 out, because it gets you into a different kind of scoring position, even with a guy like Wainwright at the plate. So I don't think that that's a bad time to do it, and others may disagree, but that's talking baseball, which is what, Danny, we love to do, and players love to do it. They're doing it in the bullpen, and Schilt is just using it as a way to have coaches monitor those conversations to make sure it's all going in the right direction.
And also the feedback of the players.
Oh, no doubt. Well, they have to be involved in it. If it's just another lecture, then forget it.
And the swing and a miss by Wainwright.
You know who did the ball talk of the Cardinals from, I can attest to 1984 to 1990, there was ball talk after every game. And the conversation was led by Tommy Hurt. What do we do right? What do we do wrong? How do we get better?
And the strikeout, the first of the day for the lefty Straub. Renfroe, Reyes, Tatis Jr. coming up. As we move to the top of the 4th, beautiful day for baseball here at Busch Stadium.
Feels like we've got another close game in store for us today. Adam Wainwright doing his job, keeping it close. He's been sharp. 6 strikeouts in the first 3 innings. The Wainwright curveball of old, and the velocity up at one point to 93 miles an hour. But he is certainly handling the command of that fastball much better than he did in Pittsburgh. This has been vintage Wainwright. No walks, 6 strikeouts, and just 1 run through 3. Cardinals have had only 1 game so far in 2019 that has been decided by more than 2 runs, win or loss.
Layer up on Friday, April 19th. 30,000 fans 16 and older receive an adult Cardinals fleece vest, courtesy of Scott Credit Union. Cardinals.com/promotions. Hunter Renfroe. That's when the Mets are in town, April 19th. Made a lot of moves in the offseason. They're 6-2 to start this year. That's pulled fair down the left field line and into the corner. Renfroe came off the bench in the home opener for the Cardinals just 2 days ago and had that pinch hit 2-run homer.
He's swinging it. Wainwright got the curveball, strike 1, then tried to sneak the fastball inside, and he's able to again keep his hands inside the ball and quick bat speed by Renfroe. 26 home runs the past 2 seasons. Really hasn't been a full-time everyday player either.
Wainwright has allowed 4 hits today, 3 of which have been doubles. Runner at second. Here's Reyes, who grounded into the shift with Wong right behind Adam Wainwright. And a few steps now to the shortstop side of the bag. Reyes hitting a .105 and no home runs. He's driven in 2. Big curveball, tap foul. One ball, 1 strike. Fly ball. Right center. Bader puts himself in a position to throw. That's how you do it.
Danny, it's exactly how you do it. He does everything right defensively. He really works at this too. I saw him do it in spring training. You get behind the ball and you want movement forward when you catch it, so you can have your momentum going forward. You also keep your glove in your hand high, so when you transfer from glove to ball, you've got a quicker chance to get that throw out instead of bringing your hands all the way down, then having to bring them all the way up. That's just textbook defensive play. And again, I saw him work on that for hours after hours in spring training, and that's where it starts. It's ability, but it's also teachability.
Fernando Tatis Jr. talking with Willie McGee the other day, and pitch by pitch he will shift the outfielders, and there it is in his right hand. He's got a card on each of the players, how they want to align defensively with the outfielders, but then also it changes because of the situation. You know, Wainwright, let's say in the 5th or 6th, 7th, could be running out of gas, so that changes the alignment of your defense, or what's working for him that day. What pitch is he going to more than others? But Willie situates himself at home, either in the middle there or at the very end of the dugout, so outfielders can find him, see him, and then he does the positioning.
Yeah, it's a long way from where Harrison Bader is to where Willie is, and so you don't want to be kind of trying to find him, as you say, and you want that communication to be clear and timely, because you may be too late. I also love what you said about the pitcher really dictates what you do defensively. I think it's a mistake to say, well, the pitcher threw to the wrong defense. I think the defense plays to what the pitcher is trying to do, and the catcher, to either exploit a weakness of the hitter or go to the strength of the pitcher.
A 2-1 pitch now to Tatis. I said, well, how much has it changed when you were playing for Whitey? And he said Whitey would take us in and we'd have a quick meeting, but it was quick, you know, and he had the notes of, well, we're going to play this guy here, understand this guy's hot, so he's going this way. And you remembered those things, but that was it. And now it's literally pitch to pitch to pitch.
Whitey hated meetings. None of them lasted more than, I'm going to say, 10 minutes max. Most of them 5.
But isn't that a byproduct of him trusting his players and his coaches?
Well, and also, I mean, he was already prepared. He already knew it. You don't have to really talk about it. Hey, Ryan Sandberg, we're going to play him to pull on the infield. We're going to play him to hit the ball the other way in the gap and all the same things.
And that's what Willie was saying, too.
But it was just, okay, that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, he would do it very, very quickly. Meeting over. No questions.
And the 3-2 hit off the end of the bat. Bader again. Here comes his throw to third. A strike. The tag. Out. Out. Double play. That's how you do it. Again, gets behind it. And a strike and the tag. Digging for our good friends at Lou Fuse, LouFuse.com. And our this date in Cardinals history, April 7, 1984. Who is that lefty? Number 49.
I think that's somebody I'm pretty familiar with. Hard to believe it was 35 years ago making that major league debut. By the way, the first pitch I threw was a home run.
That's okay.
And
you got through it.
The second pitch was a double. So, rough start.
But you got through it.
I got through it. Yes, I did.
Congratulations. April 7th, 1984, in our Lou Fuse This Day in History. Rick Horton making his major league debut.
Candlestick Park.
Shift on here for Carpenter. Fly to center, first time up. Do you have time to get family and friends to the ballparks here in Candlestick? And you're from New York, so what happened?
Yeah, no, it was just me on that road trip, and did not have a chance. Family was going to join me in St. Louis later. I wasn't sure I was going to be on the team
right
until maybe, well, the last day of spring training. So, bit of a surprise to everyone. A good surprise. So, just a bunch of hostile people rooting against me there in San Francisco. Although when I gave up the home run, I think they liked me on that first pitch.
Standing O.
Yeah.
We like this guy.
Well, I recall Bruce Sutter and Bob Forge meeting me at the dugout after giving up the 2 hard hit balls in the first inning. And when I came off the field, I can remember this vividly. They both came and put their arms around me and said, "Hey, at least you're throwing strikes." And then I found out later they went to the corner of the dugout and started laughing at me. So just kind of what
did
you
they
did.
really?
Yeah, they did.
And you know Bruce is watching right now.
Oh, yeah. Well, Bruce doesn't remember that as much as Bob Force did when Bob was alive, and Bob probably instigated it.
Mm-hmm.
But he was a great teacher, so was Bruce. And you know, every young player here and the young players that are on the field today, they're learning from somebody. And it's not just their coaches. We focus on that all the time, but you're learning from your teammates who've been there, done that, and they're going to have a special voice to you on how to pick somebody, about how to act on the road, how to live life as a professional baseball player. And if you have the right role models, you got a chance of being a good big leaguer.
I know Bob had some words of wisdom on the home opener for you too, about how great the fans can be.
Yes. Well, he said enjoy them, but don't love them too much. I mean, you have to understand if you're playing this game, and if you get wrapped up in the highs and lows of this game, you'll fade out quickly.
Mm-hmm. It's paraphrasing, right?
Yeah, of course.
3-2 pitch and a leadoff walk. Cardinals baseball brought to you by Ford, the official car and truck of the Cardinals, and by Steak and Shake. Get 4 meals, 4 items for $4. 444. Get more for 4 only at Steak and Shake. Keith O'Brien in our truck says Jeffrey Leonard hit the home run against Rick.
Yes, he did.
Jack Clark scored on it for the Giants. Chili Davis hit the double.
Remember it well. It was a breaking ball.
Then you got Joel Youngblood to end the inning.
And that was a changeup. You think you don't remember things, but I can tell you all the pitches: fastball, slider, changeup. I threw Youngblood about 7 pitches in that at bat. 5 of them were changeups. He grounded out to second base, and so you think people don't remember. That's 35 years ago.
And you remember it.
I'm not sure what I had for breakfast today, but I know what I did 35 years ago.
Against Youngblood and Leonard and
yes.
everybody else. 2-0 here on Paul Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt grounded at third, first time up. He is seeing 5 pitches per plate appearance, and that is the highest in baseball. Couple that with Carpenter, and that's one of the reasons why you have them 1 and 2 in this lineup. Carpenter's going to see a lot of pitches as well.
We talked about the ability to hit with 2 strikes as being important, and good hitters typically do. Goldschmidt's been one of the game's best 2-strike hitters too, and 3-1 the count now. You prefer that, but don't give up on Goldschmidt if it's 3-2. We've seen that he has a very good eye. He's not going to chase very often.
Goldschmidt sitting on 5 home runs. He takes a rip there, and boy, he doesn't get cheated very often. We're seeing that day after day.
He's not getting cheated, but it's not a wild swing.
4 of his 5 home runs, by the way, have come with 2 strikes. Carpenter, the runner at first base. 3-2 pitch. He's running, and a high fly ball out to left field. Renfroe can't make the catch. Hops over the sidewall, and Carpenter will get third base, and Goldschmidt says thank you very much. To further the point you made earlier, guys must be struggling to pick up the ball right now.
Well, we noticed it yesterday a couple of times with Will Myers playing left field. He really struggled on 2 balls hit to him, but made plays. And Renfroe kind of had the stop-start on this one, and just never really got to the ball in time. Probably going to be ruled as an error, I would think, but just was not very well played at all by the left fielder. And I do think the sun has something to do with it. And Goldschmidt at first, we've seen that. And just a tough sky right now.
And the sunglasses on top of the bill of the cap. And now the Cardinals have a little life here in the home half of the 4th. The fans can sense that. Strike 1 on Paul DeJong, who fly to center first time up. So the air on Hunter Renfroe. Leadoff walk to Carpenter. Oh, and 2.
This is where you have to capitalize. Padres are trying to let you in the game here. A walk, an error. Here you go. There's a rally just wanting to happen. Now you get to the middle of the lineup. You have to do damage and put a big number up there, not just 1.
Oh, 2 pitch to DeJong. Out to left. Will it drop? It does. All the way to the wall. 2 runs will score. And DeJong puts the Cardinals on top. And it's 2-1 St. Louis. The ball will find you, and that's the case right now for Hunter Renfroe.
Well, this ball was hit very hard by DeJong, and the route was not very good by Renfroe and left. He goes straight at it. I'm not thinking he could have caught it, but he might have been able to keep it from going to the wall if he took a different route. But regardless, 2 runs would have scored either way. But DeJong with a double, and there's that crooked number on the board.
He's now driven in 7. And that one comes on an 0-2 pitch.
So take command, Danny. Take command of the game. Push.
The Cardinals have had a lead in all 3 games of this series. Marcelo Ozuna, 2 for 8, a homer. He's driven in 3 with runners in scoring position. Eight-game hitting streak for Paul DeJong. He's at second base. Popped up. Kinsler.
the sky is definitely an issue. Kinsler looking up, all he sees is sun, so he uses the glove to shade his eyes. That's kind of a good thought for young players. You could actually use your other hand, you could use your glove, and of course you could use the designer sunglasses that they all typically have on top of their hat.
But they're supposed to be, wait a minute.
I'm saying you could actually put them to use, is what I'm saying.
I got you now.
I don't quite understand that. I'm going to have to delve into that a little bit more. Ask guys, why bother?
Well, he's got him on the top of the cap there, but yeah, I don't know.
Well, Tatis has got it figured out. He's wearing them. So is Machado.
A 1 pitch to Yadier Molina. 0-2. One ball and 2 strikes. So second time through the lineup here for Strom. A walk. Goldschmidt reaches on the air. DeYoung on an 0-2 pitch. RBI double to score 2. Ozuna the pop out. And now 1 ball, 2 strikes on Yadier Molina. Up the middle. Off of Strom. Yadi hustling. Save at first. And Strom limping and walking behind the mound, and they're going to come out and make sure that he's all right.
Well, he's saying he's okay. He told him don't bother, but sometimes those are things that hurt a little bit more after they get a chance to swell a bit. Let's see where it hits him. Ball smoked off maybe the back of the left leg, around the calf perhaps. There's Yadi beating it out.
1,855 hits now for Yadier Molina. And that ties him with Kenny Boyer, the captain, for 8th place all time on the Cardinal hit list. Passed yesterday Curt Flood.
I'd have to take another look at that base hit by Molina, who's had such a terrific career, and that kind of honor means a lot to Yadi because he does know the game. He knows the great Cardinals. But if that does not hit Strom, my first look at it is I thought that was going into center field and would be an RBI.
Very close for sure. I think of some of the names that Yadi has passed now in 24 hours. Curt Flood and now Kenny Boyer, tied with Boyer, 8th place all-time hits list in Cardinals history. Here's Dexter Fowler. Fowler grounded sharply to short first time up. Pretty impressive for a guy that doesn't get a lot of infield hits too.
That's true.
Bader on deck. 0-2 the count on Dexter Fowler. And I was talking with Jimmy Edmonds the other day, and it just seems that Fowler has been hitting 1-2 or 0-2 all season long in regular season play. Does have the ability to work that count. You'd love to see him come through here. And Ballgame did agree with that assessment.
Padres playing for 2. Fowler runs well, so ball into the outfield could score a run or one in the infield. What you can't have here is a strikeout.
was the 93rd career infield hit for Yadier Molina. 93. He'll swipe a bag or two and surprise you as well. Delayed steals. Room on that right side. The 2-2. He did strike out. And the ball gets away on the infield, and advancing on the play, it'll be Molina from first to second. That was not a foul ball. No argument from Fowler, and everybody played through and played on. So it's a strikeout and a wild pitch.
Well, Fowler can't advance because first base is occupied, but the other runners can.
Right.
So Yadi took advantage of going first to second. DeYoung didn't think he could score on this strikeout and wild pitch. There's the jump by Yadi. Right away he goes. And Hedges thought the play would be at the plate. He thought DeYoung would be going, so he turned around and fired it and almost allowed him to score anyway.
So runners at second and third, and it brings in Bader in a play that should not get overlooked thus far in the ball game. Leading into this inning was the top half of the fourth, ending on a double play started by Harrison Bader. His first assist of the season, his 10th of his career, and again got himself in a position to throw.
And we had talked earlier in the inning, he made another throw very similar, and again worked at it, staying behind the ball, throwing the ball right on the money. Terrific play by Bader.
Also the soft hands of Carpenter. That was not an easy throw to pick.
I'm not sure whether Paul DeYoung read that very well at third, or if he just thought it was going off the backstop so quickly, didn't think it would make sense to try to score.
I've got to wonder too if part of that conversation that the Padres just had would be, look, Bader is very good against left-handed pitching. He's already got a double.
First base is open.
Right, and you've got the lefty Wong on deck. That's way inside. 2 balls and no strikes.
That lefty's hitting 400. Fourth in the National League in the early going. You don't get too excited about that in game number 9, but still good start for Colton.
And now time is called. Wong 200 against lefties. Bader just shy of 300 a year ago, the average. And the 2-0 pitch. 3-0. So it looks like they're pitching around him, and we'll try to deal with Wong, and Colton would have a chance to bust this game open here in the bottom of the fourth with the bases loaded. We'll see. And there's a strike. 32nd pitch of the inning coming up for Strom. And now he's approaching 70. That's out of play. So 3-2 here on Harrison Bader.
Wouldn't be the first time a pitcher worked his way back into the count and then made a mistake. After being down 3-0.
With an off-speed pitch, tap foul by Bader. Seventh pitch of the at-bat coming up. Big crowd here at Busch Stadium, ready to make some more noise. Paul DeYoung is double. It's given the Cardinals a lead here in the home half of the fourth. That's yanked foul.
Very nearly the mistake I was talking about. He hung that, and Bader was just a little bit too quick. It's up in about belt high area, and just wait a split second longer, and Bader knows it.
Yes, he does. Bases loaded. DeYoung, Molina, Bader. Loaded up for Colton Wong. Grounded back to the pitcher, first time up. And with that, they start to stretch in the Padre bullpen. Time is Cole.
Trying to move Hosmer back. They don't want him playing so shallow with left-handed batting Colton Wong, and Hosmer was playing in front of Bader. Now he's backing up even more.
Wong lines it, and it is caught. Paul DeYoung, his double into left center on an 0-2 pitch. All the way to the wall to score 2, and with that, it's a 1-run lead. Having some fun here at the ballpark. 2-1 Cardinals. Let's check in with Jim Hayes.
Dan, we were talking about Alex Reyes and his command issues. Andrew Miller is another guy off to a slow start. I asked John Mozeliak about Miller on the pregame show. He told me he's got to get more of the plate with that slider. We're seeing guys lay off that pitch. Not a big sample size, but certainly enough to have a red flag go up. It's something the coaches will address for his part. Miller told me after the game last night physically he's fine, and he's very confident he'll get it going. Danny, a locked-in Miller changes everything for the Cardinal bullpen.
Well, it really would. And 2 home runs allowed in the 8th inning, already 3 this season. He had given up a total of 3 last year, all last year. There's strike 1 on Austin Hedges. 7, 8, and 9 for the Padres. Hedges struck out swinging, first time up, 0-2.
Strong curveball from Wainwright, and there's 12-6. Wow, it's a great break, 75 miles an hour. Very hard to square that pitch up.
And the 0-2 pitch. It was also this date in history that Ken Forsch threw a no-hitter, which at the time the earliest by date no-hitter in Major League history. Brother of Bob Forsch, who authored 2 no-hitters in Cardinals history. Jack Morris matched that feat 5 years later. So we were talking about Bob earlier today. 2-2 pitch. Check swing. And the strikeout, number 7.
This is a cutter. Been throwing curveballs he couldn't lay off, and that is a swing. Wainwright very, very sharp.
Arcia drive to success. The best strikeout to walk ratio all time. Wainwright, Dizzy Dean, Bob Gibson. And today he's got 7 strikeouts.
Not hurting that ratio at all. No walks.
Well, the Cardinals needed this type of start, whether it was Wainwright or anybody else in that starting 5. He's now at 75 pitches, popped up for out number 2. Goldschmidt. A lot of reasons to catch a game, even more reasons to score your tickets at StubHub. Best selection of 100% MLB verified tickets, even available right after the first pitch. StubHub, official partner of the Cardinals. There's Matt Strahm, the pitcher.
Dan, you mentioned the phrase in the early going that you wanted to see Adam Wainwright be a stopper today. And that's a pitcher that, you know, acts like the ace and goes out there, and when the team has lost a lot, you turn it around quickly. So far, he's pitching like that. Got more work to do, though.
And Strahm picks up a extra base hit down into the right field corner. And the tying run will be in scoring position. That's the first career hit for Matt Strahm, and he gets it off of Adam Wainwright. Ian Kinsler 0 for 2, grounded out to short and also popped out. Outfield straight away for St. Louis. Wainwright due up first for the Cardinals. Their half of the fifth, leading 2-1. Curveball, beauty, strike one. Padres have stranded a ton of runners in this series. They are 5 for 31 with runners in scoring position, and today 1 for 6. Nothing and 2.
Incredible what difference of 5 days has been for Adam Wainwright. One start to the next. Again, more work to do, but very encouraged by what I've seen from Adam today.
Velocity has been up, location much better, no walks.
Sharp breaking balls.
And the 0-2 pitch to Ian Kinsler. Ricky, what do you see from your perspective, having pitched in the big leagues, coached in the professional ranks, but a guy at this stage in his career when you drop arm angles, which Wainwright has done coming into this season?
Yeah, well, I think he definitely did it in the last game. He was changing his arm angle just to get more movement on his fastball. But I think he's just looking for that right arm slot. You know, sometimes the older pitcher will do that, Dan, just to throw where it doesn't hurt as much. But I think Wainwright's trying to find effectiveness.
Hung that one, but gets away with it.
And the problem with dropping down too much, think about this. He's famous for his 12-6 curveball. Well, you got to be at 12 to throw that curveball, right? You can't go 12-6 if you start at 10 or, you know, more of a sidearm throw, and with your curveball, it's going to be sweeping. So, but if you're throwing your fastball from there and you try to throw your curveball from up top, batter's going to see that before you even get to throw it, and you're going to be essentially tipping your pitches.
1-2 again, hit sharply. He let it go. Wong positioned perfectly. And again, the Padres strand a runner. San Diego has left 3 on today. Well, Yadier Molina, Adam Wainwright. And here we are, Ricky, 2019, and still the battery this Sunday afternoon. T-Mobile connection to the game. Carson Kelly, walk-off hit for Arizona. Boston tied for the worst start in team history. The Cubs, they won over Milwaukee 14-8. And Albert Pujols with home run number 634. He's 6th all-time in the Major League Baseball. That was already 50 home runs hit around the game.
Carson Kelly's game-winning hit came in a game that Luke Weaver started and was in line for the victory, but the game was tied up late. Kelly ends up winning it. Two former Cardinals both traded for Paul Goldschmidt. The Cubs, by the way, Dan, are swinging the bat well, but they're the only team in the National League who've walked more batters than the Cardinals staff.
Boston 2-8 to start the year. As Wainwright holds up and takes a ball. Struck out back in the third. We'll see Albert Pujols and Mike Trout later this season here at Busch Stadium.
Can't wait.
Well, Strom had 36 pitches last inning. Then he had the double, left stranded. Dealing here with Wainwright, and then the top of the Cardinal lineup. Dodgers will play against Colorado later tonight. And they'll throw Ryu tomorrow against Miles Michaelis. Dakota Hudson in game 2. Ross Stripling will go for the Dodgers. Jack Flaherty, Kenta Maeda in game 3, and then Waka and Walker Buehler in game 4 of that series. And then it's off to Mexico. 2-game set against Cincinnati. Reds giving up a couple of home games. Monterrey, Mexico. 2-2 the count. The Reds right now trying to get on track. They are 1-7. I find that shocking.
Well, I think they will be better than they were last year. You know, Votto can kind of go in and out offensively. He has some rough starts sometimes and rough patches. But that offense, just think it's going to be better.
And already losing 7-3 right now to Pittsburgh are the Reds. Wainwright with a high fly ball into center. That ball game with Cincinnati and Pittsburgh in the 7th. This fall, it's the start of a new era. Fox becomes the new network home of WWE's SmackDown Live. Friday nights beginning October 4th, only on Fox. Carpenter, first time up. Swung at the first pitch, fly to center. Drew a walk back in the 4th. And came around to score on the double by Paul DeJong. Sweeping breaking ball in for a strike. That second at bat was a 7-pitch at bat by Matt Carpenter. 2-1 our score. The Brewers in the top of the 6th, leading the Chicago Cubs. Cubs are 2-6. Milwaukee 7-2. That's pulled foul past Stubby Clapp.
Got the sense that Milwaukee, and just from hearing some things and talking with some folks close to the Brewers, that maybe they're a little chip on their shoulder a little bit. I think people were thinking that maybe they would go down. They didn't make enough positive changes, and that the Reds were going to be better and the Cardinals were better because of Goldschmidt, and maybe they were being underestimated a bit. And maybe the Cubs could make that same case as far as some people's prediction of what would happen in 2019. You still got to play it.
Hit down the right field line. That's fair. Off the sidewall. And Carpenter to second base with a 1-out double. 4th double of the year for Matt Carpenter.
Man can hit some doubles, can't he? The doubles machine is against the left-hander. Right down central, 92.
Should mention, if you ever have a ticket here at the ballpark and that's a live baseball and you touch it, you will be escorted out of the ballpark. So you get the idea. If it's live or you think it might be, don't touch it. Let it go. Here's Paul Goldschmidt, the runner at second base. Goldschmidt reached down an air back in the fourth. Milwaukee also gets Jeremy Jeffress back into the month. And Paul lifts a fly ball to center. Catch made by Margot.
Cardinals have gotten some distance to center field today, haven't they? Several balls hit deep into center. That one off the end of the bat of Goldschmidt. I wondered whether the Padres might be careful with Goldschmidt with first base open, but you know, that's one thing, him hitting in the 2-hole you probably won't see much of. You'll see him pitch to him more with 3 and 4 to follow. It just doesn't, you got to pitch to somebody. That just gives him more protection and more opportunity for damage.
Goldschmidt, the team leader in runs batted in with 9. And then with 7 apiece, it's Wong and Young. 2 outs, runner at second base. And this is back in the 4th inning. Renfroe, not a great jump or route to the baseball, and that went all the way to the wall to score 2.
That was a linea. Get used to that call when we go to Monterey. Line drive, líneas.
Although Asensio and Benji Molina on our Spanish broadcast. So Polo today, and I said, I'm going to be at your hip down in Mexico. I need your help.
Right.
Said, no problem, amigo. Good guys.
They're terrific. They are wonderful guys. Great teammates of ours. And we're excited about them delivering our favorite team's baseball in Spanish.
The Young trying to deliver here, but the catch made and left by Renfroe. Cardinals strand a runner, their 4th of the day. We move to the 6th, and it's 2-1. All right, thank you, Erica. The Reds manager, our buddy David Bell, Cincinnati native. Moeller High School. Many great athletes have come out of Moeller. Cincinnati. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's taken down and in by Hosmer. It's Hosmer, Machado, and Renfroe for San Diego in a 2-1 game. Adam Wainwright is struck out 7. And the 1-1. The last Cardinals pitcher to strike out 7 or more at 37 years of age or older. John Smoltz, when he was 42. John Smoltz, the Hall of Famer, was 42. And he did that in 2009 against Milwaukee. And some may forget that John finished up with the Cardinals. Loved his time here in St. Louis.
I'm not sure that's the same game. It seems to me he struck out the first 7 batters of the game.
That was against the Padres, I believe, in San Diego.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I don't care how old you are. That's
pretty good.
Pretty good.
And the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out, number 8 today for Wainwright.
There's the curveball again. Very sharp. And look where it ends up. That's not even close to being in the strike zone, but it is right there, but not right there. And you've already had to commit to swinging at it to protect the plate. That's the late break, sharp break value of a pitch like that. And Wainwright's been using that value for a long time. Year number 14 in the big leagues for Adam Wainwright.
Manny Machado, a double and a strikeout.
Really like the pace of Wainwright's delivery. I think it's different. It's not as deliberate. He's a little bit more attacking with even with his motion. It's not, I wouldn't say he's fast, but he's strong and quick in his delivery. Turn and fire. I mean, it seems like he was maybe hesitating a little bit more in his first start, and I think it was just maybe trying to feel his way, but this is just attack. That's bulldog mode.
One and two.
One of my favorite things that Wainwright said this winter, Dan, is yes, I want to play again, and so I'm going to work hard this winter to compete to earn a job.
Wasn't given to him.
And he wasn't asking for it to be given to him. I just love that attitude.
The 2-2 outside. Looks like the pant leg on the right side. Yeah, he's got a little blood there. And usually it's the friction, isn't it, Ricky, with the seams?
Maybe an indication of the sharpness of the curveball, a little cut or blister on a finger.
And a ground ball got him to reach. And DeYoung puts away Manny Machado. And now a quick word from Great Southern Bank.
Watching the 2-0 while your friends go for the steal? We understand. Great Southern Bank. We're fans too.
24 fastballs, 33 curves. From the sinker 36 times here today. Could be a myriad of reasons as to why that would be. Blood on the side of the leg there of Adam Wainwright coming from the hand.
Callus could rip. Nail could be rubbing against another finger.
Really took some off it there. 76 miles an hour. Hunter Renfroe, 0-2. Renfroe from Crystal Springs, Mississippi. The 0-2 pitch. .26 home runs last year. And has always been a home run hitter. He played collegiately at Mississippi State, was a power hitter in college. 13th overall pick, 2013. Ooh, and Wainwright thought he had the strikeout, which would have been number 9. Pitch number 98 of the day for Adam Wainwright. The 2-2 backs up, doesn't get it, and the count runs full. Nobody up and throwing yet.
Phone is ringing, however. I can hear it. I can sense it.
Crowd, they want strikeout number 9. Will they get it? The 3-2 yanked foul. Three-two again. He got him. 9 strikeouts. Adam Wainwright. now at 100. So back-to-back starters with 100 or more pitches. Really was a struggle yesterday for Michael Wacha, and today it's 9 strikeouts through 6 for Adam Wainwright.
Right at 100 pitches, and most of them outstanding. 9 punch-outs. Mike Maddox, Adam Wainwright. I know as they designed what this day would look like, I would say this is as good as you could have expected.
Adam Warren, the new pitcher in, right-hander. Our Chevy called to the pen. And the first pitch, a strike to Marcell Ozuna. 4, 5, and 6 for the Cardinals. Ozuna, Molina, and the switch hitting Dexter Fowler. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ozuna twice has popped out to second. Cardinals with a 2-1 lead. Paul DeYoung, RBI double back in the 4th, and that's not the swing that Ozuna wanted to take there.
Just didn't commit to it, did he?
It seems like, though, that has been the case for a lot of hitters in between right now, just not locked in. And it's not just the Cardinals, but beginning of the season, first weekend, we've seen that a lot from good hitters across the major leagues.
But hitters make adjustments. We'll go through periods where you just don't want to pitch that day because everybody's red hot.
And the 1-2 pulled foul. Such an important year for Marcell Ozuna, free agent to be. He's got a lot riding on this season, and the Cardinals have a lot riding on him. And he's jammed. Fouled back. Sandy Alcantara, one of the main pieces going back to Miami in that deal, was tremendous his first time out with 8 innings of, I believe, shutout baseball for Miami. When he puts it all together, that young man is going to be some kind of pitcher.
Agreed.
1-2. And a strikeout of Ozuna as he spun around. 0 for 3 today. Fans have voted. And April 23rd, that's a Tuesday. 20,000 fans 16 and older receive the Baby Blue T-shirt of the month featuring St. Louis Birds on the bat logo, and that's courtesy of TD Ameritrade.
Powder blue. I have one of those at home. 1984 was the last year that the team wore those powder blue. And when I think powder blue, I think of the '82 World Series championship team playing against the then American League Milwaukee Brewers.
I think Sanzabelts. That's in the gap in the left center. And Molina with his second hit of the day. Infield hit, and now a double. 2 for 3.
He's back, Danny. Yachty with a couple of hits yesterday, and this one with authority. Just think his timing was off first few games of the year. Just as you mentioned, in between, just a little late on the fastball, a little out in front of the off speed. That's what in between means.
Now Fowler 0 for 2 today. Grounded out sharply to short, then struck out swinging. And that was with runners at first and third and only 1 out back in the 4th. Looking for his first run batted in. Big gap in right center. Now time is called. Yachty is starting to get a feel for it. Ricky, as you mentioned, 4 for his last 7 and started the season 2 for 29. So some changes there. And the 1-1 is a pop up left side and a souvenir. Fowler in his career 0 for 2 against this right-hander. Couple of strikeouts. In the hole, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Way out in front. Second strikeout for Warren in relief of Strom. With 2 outs, Harrison Bader.
Well, this game has a chance to turn, Dan, several times before it's over. Back and forth. Very precarious 1-run lead. Just don't want to leave too many runners in scoring position. Up to Bader if the Cardinals can extend the lead here.
Cardinals have left 4 on today. Be interesting to see what direction Mike Schilt wants to go in his bullpen. Hicks rested, ready, but just trying to get to that point.
John Brebbia up now. I think the deck has been reshuffled a little bit. I think the idea was Alex Reyes 7 and Miller 8 and Hicks 9, but Andrew Miller struggled a bit and Reyes is now headed to kind of get retooled and re-energized in Memphis, so not sure who it is.
I would say this, the performance of Brebbia this far, he has earned the higher leverage situations.
Yeah.
And very good thus far. 2 balls and a strike on Bader with Wong on deck. He's staying away from that slider. Saw him chase a lot in spring training. That pitch right there. 3-1 to count. LED lights have been on all afternoon here at the ballpark. Overcast skies. Very comfortable temperature, mid-70s. That changeup floats in there, and it's now a full count. The 3-2 pitch. And Bader lifts it in the air to center. Margot back on the track and makes the catch. Cardinals strand their 5th runner of the day. Inning number 7 when we come back. Of the year, his home debut, and he did not disappoint. Our BJC Healthcare difference maker.
Spectacular vintage Adam Wainwright got strikeouts with fastballs up, curveballs down, and really changed speeds very well today, but everything was working. He just got more and more, I would say, competitive and had that bulldog spirit as the game rolled along, and he was attacking the strike zone. Just 5 hits allowed and a terrific game for Adam Wainwright. He's in line for the victory if the Cardinals bullpen can get the job done. And first up, John Brebbia. Game number 4 for him, and he is off to a very, very good start. He is our Chevy call to the bullpen number 1.
New right fielder Jose Martinez, and he'll be due up second for the Cardinals in the home half of the 7th. And double by Yadier Molina, now in sole possession of 8th place all-time hits list Cardinals history, moving past Kenny Boyers. So congratulations to Yadi. Reyes, Tatis Jr. and Hedges.
We've talked, Dan, about the necessity of Alex Reyes getting sent back just to get right today, but think about it from Mike Schilt's point of view. You're set up with your 7th, 8th, and 9th inning guys, and Reyes and Miller are 2 of those 3, and both of them are struggling. Well, you can't use 2 guys in the same game to try to get a win when they're both struggling. Maybe one of them, you could take a chance with one of them, but that just puts the manager in a bind. You can't use your guys, your horses, to close out a game, so what do? Got to find another horse.
The 2-1 pitch. Good fastball at 94. Reyes today grounded into the shift and also fly to center. That's fouled back just below us. Well, the first 3 games, the bullpen, .79 ERA. The last 5, it's near 6. So changes had to be made. Starters not going deep. They needed arms. Foul back again.
With as many innings as you get out of the bullpen on a given night, all teams in baseball now, you can't wait as long as you used to. You might be able to hide somebody for a couple of weeks, but you just can't do that anymore.
And about half the innings have been recorded by the bullpen so far, so needed some reinforcements. The 2-2 inside, 3-2 on Reyes. We also saw that walks came back in this series, late innings, to haunt the Cardinals. 3-2 pitch, and there it is, leadoff walk. Cardinals Hall of Fame voting live right now through April 12th. Cardinals.com/HOF. And vote for your favorite players. Special thanks to Edward Jones. It's something Wainwright did not do. He did not walk a man, and now here it is to Tatis. He made the Cardinals pay the other day. It was a walk in front of him. Boom, hits a home run. And that changed that game. That was against Alex Reyes. And there's a ball. The bullpen with 18 walks in the last 21 innings.
The reliable guys have been Brebbia, John Gant, Jordan Hicks for the most part. Get everybody else in and out.
Adam Wainwright today with the 9 strikeouts in his 6 innings of work. Interesting note, the 4th pitcher in the club's history, 6 or more innings, 1 run or less, 9 or more strikeouts, age 37 or older. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
Did you follow all that?
I did.
The others, Chuck Finley, Bob Gibson, and Dazzy Vance. Chuck Finley, the big, tall lefty that primarily pitched in the American League with Cleveland and the Angels, was with the Cardinals in 2002. Made 14 starts and was 7-4 for the Cardinals that year. He was good.
Sure was.
And the 1-2 popped up to the right side. Goldschmidt over, out of room. And also in 2002, Finley would teach Andy Bennis split finger or fork ball, whatever you want to call it. But Andy Bennis then was reinvented, and he was great down the stretch in 2002.
Sure was. He came out, he didn't have a job. They just didn't know what to do with him for a while. Really didn't have a new home, and it had so many great years, and then he just resurrected what he was doing and just finished so strong. Really fun to watch.
So 2-2 the count. Andy Bennis, Alan Bennis, Adam Bennis, all living here in St. Louis. Andy was 5-4 back in 2002. And Brebbia would love a ground ball and a double play. The 2-2. The thing is, the fastest man on the field right now might be at the plate.
Yeah, I thought that ball actually hit him. Almost walked into it. I heard a grunt, but I think it was just because he realized that he was walking into it. Very close.
And that pitch popped up. Shallow right. Wong with the catch with his back to the infield. What a play by Colton Wong.
If you think that play was hard, I'm going to agree with you and tell you it was probably harder than you even think it was, because the ball is going away from you. You have to keep your eye on it and be concerned about not getting slammed by a very large right fielder all at the same time. That's a fearless play by Colton Wong that requires athleticism, courage, and the right route, and he got it all done. That's a tough play and a good one.
Now Austin Hedges. Does beg the question, where's Jose Martinez on that pop-up? Well, the Cardinals will take it. It's caught by Wong, and that's the first out. What a play. And time granted late. Don't get it. I don't like it. But it's granted. And you as a pitcher better agree with me.
Oh, I don't like it either. I understand it, however, because there's that little lapse of time between when you make that decision to grant it and then the pitcher could be at that very exact moment beginning his windup.
In the air, shallow left to Young, immediately calling for it to make the catch. That's out number 2. Loads of goodies for the kids Easter Sunday. Kids 15 and younger take home a stadium exclusive Build-A-Bear Workshop Bunny. Also receive a free ticket voucher valid to a Cardinals game this year courtesy of Prairie Farms, and ice cream before the game in Ford Plaza. Here's Margot with a runner at first base. And strike one. Mike Myers continues to throw in the Cardinal bullpen. Tyler Webb has joined him, the lefty that was called up before our first pitch. Will Myers has moved to the on-deck circle. There's Webb, who really didn't do anything not to be on the club. And outside of one bad outing with the Cardinals last year, his numbers with St. Louis were very, very good. ERA under 2.
Yeah, he really was good in spring training and deserved the chance.
There's Wong again. Snaps at it. So he makes the catch. And let's stretch on this Sunday afternoon. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. Colton Wong leads it off. And the first pitch taken for a ball. We're in the bottom of the 7th. And again, Ricky, another tight ball game for the Cardinals.
In tight baseball games, accent the importance of bullpens, because you either win it or lose it based on those last 6 outs. John Brebbia got his 3, but 6 more to get. And can the Cardinals get to what has been over the last year plus a pretty good Padres bullpen? Dan, I'm going to say it's time to fly.
That is the motto this year. Time to fly.
Been sputtering a little. Not really taking off exactly right. Been on that runway for a while.
clipped wings, if you will.
Colton agrees. It's time to fly.
Jim Hayes has his own motto. It's restore the soar. You know, Jim loves
he does the soaring. Yes,
that's right. And if you follow Jim on social media, Jim always talks about soaring. And for Jim, he mentions it's restore the soar. Crowd of 44,340. And Wong, a base hit into right. 4-4-3-4-0 the crowd today, and they enjoy that. Wong 1 for 3.
Adds to his good start, driving the ball into right field. Love everything about Colton's approach.
Reminder, we'll take you inside Ballpark Village and the studios of Fox Sports Midwest and the postgame show. Jim Edmonds and Erica Weston, they'll have the postgame, and Jim Hayes will have all the clubhouse reaction as well. And here's Jose Martinez, first plate appearance. And that's a ball outside.
Jose Martinez, such a dangerous bat to come off a bench late in the game. You know he's not starting this year. Yes, he was the Cardinals' best hitter last year, hitting 300 most of the season. Very consistent, but he'll get his times at the plate.
I'm sure one of the plays that they'll take you inside the play. Bader's throw from center to third with Jim Edmonds over there.
Better to break that down than Jim Edmonds. That's right.
Jimmy working with Bader and some of the outfielders along with Willie McGee, going inside the play. The 1-0.
Was there one day where Willie and Jim were both hitting fly balls and ground balls to Bader, all the outfielders, and they were focusing on having your body in the right position for when you made a throw. It wasn't long balls they were hitting. They were very close, maybe 20 feet, 30 feet away, or yards, I should say. But enough just to get the feel for, if I'm going to my right, how am I going to do my footwork? So footwork's part of it too. Again, Jimmy can break it down better than I can, but the reality is you see a guy doing it right, and you know that there's footwork, there's intent, there's a process to it. And Bader was really paying attention to details that particular morning at Roger Dean.
And the 1-2 pitch now to Jose Martinez. A changeup taken low. It's been such a good and valuable, dangerous pinch hitter for the Cardinals. 382 lifetime average off the bench. Lifetime pinch hitting. And at this spot coming in is the double switch. Well, Jimmy will take you inside that play though.
In a way no one else could.
Runner goes on the 3-2. Base hit into center. Wong to third. Cardinals start the runner. Little action and activity here in the bottom of the 7th, and Martinez the single. Runners at the corners and nobody out.
Another hard hit ball by Martinez. He hit that ball right on the. It looked like it knuckled off the bat of Martinez. He hit it so squarely. And Wong was on the move, easily makes it to third and was prepared to do more.
Double switch coming up. I was a little surprised that Andy Green did not start the inning with a lefty. He's got 2 in his pen, knowing that you're going to have Wong and Carpenter hitting this inning, but he went with the righty, and now it's 2 runners on, nobody out. Aaron Loop, the lefty, is set to come in. Will Myers also coming in a 2-1 game here in the 7th. The NL champions from a year ago. Miles Michaelis for St. Louis. And note the start time. Earlier start times for this series. If you have a ticket, 6:45. Introducing some of those newer start times.
That's going to be a hit, Dan. I think folks are going to like that.
6:45 the first pitch. We're on the air at 6 tomorrow.
Aaron Loop, the Chevy call to the bullpen, former Toronto Blue Jay. And you mentioned, Dan, you were surprised he didn't come in to start the inning. I think next year he would have, because if you're dealing with the reality, then it does go through, and I think it will, that you've got to pitch to at least 3 batters. Then you do want right, left, right.
A shift on the right side and the infield drawn in. And Carpenter hits a fly ball out to left. Catch is made. Throw to the plate, cut off, run scores. Colton Wong, and a 2-run St. Louis lead on the RBI from Matt Carpenter.
Everybody did everything right on that play. Carpenter hits the ball into the outfield to get the run in, and the throw hits the cutoff man, so it does not allow Martinez to advance to second base, and Colton did the right thing in going. So that was just baseball played correctly.
Don't see it often from Carpenter, but twice first pitch swinging. And now Goldschmidt. A breaking pitch down and in for ball 1. Reached on an error back in the 4th. It wound up being costly. Right after that, DeYoung delivered with a double into the gap that scored 2. And the 1-0 pitch. 2 balls, no strikes. So 1 out. Martinez, your runner at first base. And a check on Jose. Inside, 3-0. Turn him loose here on this 3-0 pitch. And he takes a ball, and runners at first and second. A reminder that Baseball Today on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. And by Barnes Jewish Hospital and Washington University Physicians, national leaders in medicine. First and second. 1 out. And a 2-run St. Louis lead. DeYoung. And a ball inside. No one throwing in the Padres pen. DeYoung softly hit. Tatis only play across the diamond. Runners at second and third for the Cardinals, 2 away. Marcell Ozuna will be the batter. He's 0 for 3. Twice he has popped out to second and also struck out against Warren in the 6th. This could be a huge plate appearance here for the Cardinals. Marcell Ozuna. Runners at second and third. And the first pitch, a ball. And to your point earlier, if you're the Padres, do you go after Ozuna? Even though he's the cleanup man, but he's not quite locked in, and yet the guy on deck is starting to swing the bat much better.
I'd go after Ozuna. Not that I wouldn't be careful. I always thought that you stay away from the hot-handed guy. You don't look at kind of career numbers, and those matter, of course, but who's swinging it right now?
Marcell 2 for 9. Runners in scoring position this year with 6 strikeouts. Love to change that here. Outside, and it's 2-1. Big gap in left center. Ooh. It's been a little tardy, and this guy's not throwing very hard. Do you think this would be the matchup for Ozuna?
Well, you really have to be focused on watching the ball all the way in, because he has a sweeping motion with that sidearm delivery, and the ball just kind of disappears and comes back and just is working on several different planes, or a couple of different planes, I should say, and so you just can't kind of take your eye off of it. You have to stay on it, or you will not be able to barrel it up. Especially tough. I think this guy would be awful tough on lefties. First 3 years in the big leagues in Toronto, big numbers. I mean, good numbers in terms of low ERA. He struggled a bit. Went over to Philadelphia, now has a new home in San Diego. So he's been around a while. I'm sure Ozuna has seen him.
Two and two the count, 2 runners on, 2 outs. Inside. Runs full. Molina on deck. The sun has been peeking through the clouds here this afternoon. Big crowd ready to erupt. The 3-2. Got him. So Ozuna strikes out for the second time and 0 for 4 today. Top of the 8th. And a 3-1 Cardinal lead. Here's Will Myers, part of the double switch. 9th spot in their lineup. Then Kinsler and Hosmer. First pitch. Shallow center. Who wants it? Bader.
And I like Brebbia being sent back out there for the second inning. He is being backed up by both Hicks and Miller, but Brebbia is certainly capable of being a multiple inning guy. And what kind of jump did Bader get? One moment of hesitation to make sure the ball was hit off the end of the bat. It was, and he just raced to that spot. He has great speed coming in, doesn't he?
Incredible. That breaking speed. I know something that both Willie and Jimmy have talked about with Bader is just that initial jump. And it's interesting, Willie at Busch Stadium 2, and there's a base hit into center by Ian Kinsler. But you think about Busch Stadium 2 with the turf and the dimensions, a different ballpark than the one that Edmonds played in.
No doubt.
And we mentioned how Jimmy loved to play so shallow in center, so you see the benefit of both. So Andrew Miller right back at it. He's going to get Hosmer here, and then maybe Mike Schilt then goes to Hicks. We'll see. Little drama, late innings here at Busch. In the 8th, and now the tying run at the plate here, and Eric Hosmer. Padres are trying to start 7-3. If they could, it'd be the first time since 2009 if they could pull out a victory. And Miller, the Hyundai pitch arsenal, he's got a great slider when it's right. 57% of the time.
And when it's right, it really neutralizes left-handed batters especially. And Cardinals need him to be right, and this could be a building block for him to get him going in the right direction.
So Hosmer at the plate, and the first pitch, strike one. The shadows edging closer towards home plate here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. A runner at first, and Hosmer hits it out to center. Bader spun around a couple of times, but makes the catch on the track. Throws it all the way into first, and it hits the umpire, who's in play. And Miller is backing up. How about the strength there of one Harrison Bader, who was backing up to make that throw?
He's just showing off right there. You know, the odd part is I don't think Goldschmidt could see the baseball. He was having a hard time picking it up after Bader throws it nearly from the outfield wall coming in, and he's not sure what's going on, and he almost didn't see that baseball. It's a good thing it did hit the umpire. It might have gone into the Cardinals dugout, which would have been an extra base.
It'll be a double switch. Tyler O'Neill coming in. Marcelo Ozuna going out. Manny Machado represents the tying run when we come back. Jordan Hicks into the ball game for St. Louis. With that rough outing against Milwaukee, which they walked it off against the Cardinals, and that was a week ago. And the ball that was hit by Yelich into the gap in left scored 2. And now Tyler O'Neill in left field. So O'Neill in left, Bader in center, Martinez is in right, and Manny Machado at the plate. Runner at first, Machado representing the tying run here with 2 outs in the top of the 8th. Pretty good matchup here.
You bet it is. The raw ability of Machado, one of the game's best hitters, and one of the game's most electric pitchers in Jordan Hicks in terms of stuff.
We've seen that slider being used a little bit more, I would say, to look at the numbers harder, but this has become a weapon for Jordan Hicks. Machado has seen him one time and struck out. The 4-time All-Star, the 2-time Gold Glover. He threw it 22% last year. Hicks, that slider, 36% already this year. The 2-1 pitch. Fastball. 101. 2-2.
That was a sinker. You saw Yachty, what he did with his finger going around in a circle. That was a 2-seam sinking fastball at 101.
And a 2-2 pitch to Manny Machado. Here she comes. Spoiled. My partner's just kind of giggling right now, laughing.
Yeah, 102 mile an hour sinker.
It's incredible. trying to put him away and send us to the bottom of the 8th. The 2-2 pitch. Hicks to Manny Machado. Fouled back, and what a rip. 101 on the gun.
Well, Machado, in a game where pitchers are trying to elevate, he is a very good fastball hitter up in the zone. You're better off trying to get him down in the zone, and that's a little unusual with a lot of hitters today because they're starting to look up, but he can catch up to that fastball in his eyes.
It's another 2-2 pitch. Machado, 37 home runs last year, 33 the year before, 37 before that, and then 35. Great power at the plate. 2-2 the count. .102 on the gun. Renfroe on deck. Got him. Strike him out. 3-2. And struck him out. Tip your cap.
Well, this was a nasty slider, 3-2, and Machado was very impressed by it, impressed enough to say, you win this one. Tipping his cap to young Jordan Hicks.
Molina, O'Neill, and Bader for St. Louis. Robbie Erlin. Lefty in for San Diego. Yadier Molina, a couple of hits. Infield hit. Tied him with Kenny Boyer on the all-time Cardinals hit list. And then he went past him with a double.
And let's not underestimate Yadi's input, involvement in what Adam Wainwright did today. Now, you give Adam the credit, as you should, first and foremost. But Yadier Molina is his partner in it, and certainly deserves a lot of credit for what Adam was able to accomplish today. Not only today, but for the last 14 years.
I would imagine it's a relief today for Wainwright after that last start.
Oh boy.
Just wonder a little bit.
Do you doubt?
Yeah. Molina, base hit into center. Reaching for it out in front, and a leadoff single. 3-hit day for Yadi.
Second time he's taken a ball almost off his shoe tops and lined it up the middle. Nicely done.
I don't know. The lefty here in this situation may play into the Cardinals' hands with a guy like O'Neill. Bader hits lefties well. We'll see. And ball one.
They have really used the right side of their bullpen. Padres have used Kirby Yates, their closer. He has 5 saves to lead the National League already. We saw Whistler for a couple of innings. Winginter, we've seen him. Stammen a couple of times. So I think
it's all part of it.
All part of it is the only way a bullpen works is if everybody's working.
1 ball and 1 strike on Tyler O'Neill.
You know, there's 2 philosophies, Dan. One philosophy is I'm going to go with my hot hand and I'm going to use that guy until he's bad. Then I put him on the bottom of the pile and then I go with the next guy. And the other philosophy is I want to get them all working in concert in a role that just seems to be effective for them. And I prefer the second.
2-2 the count. Padres will have Renfroe, Reyes, and Tatis Jr. looking ahead to the 9th. And Jordan Hicks trying to make it a 4-out save. And a strikeout of O'Neill. I'm not sure if he's right after that second swing in his at bat. O'Neill. He didn't look quite.
Looks a little stiff even walking back, doesn't he?
Yeah. Now this is the strikeout pitch, but I think the pitch before that he swung at, something wasn't quite right. Could be wrong, but we'll find out more afterwards. Do you see that too?
Yeah, well, I saw him walking back a little gingerly, and you know, he's got more muscles than most of us to pull, perhaps, or strain. Not suggesting that's what happened, but it did look a little stiff to me. There's the pitch you're talking about, and just, you know, when you're out front a little bit, you just. Not sure what that reaction means. Maybe nothing.
A strike to Bader. 0-2 the count. Again, a reminder, 6:45 the first pitch tomorrow. We'll be on the air at 6 with the pregame show. And the 0-2 pitch to Harrison Bader. Miles Michaelis against Ryu tomorrow. Another lefty the Cardinals will face. And Bader fights it off. Base hit over Kinsler. Yachty on his way to third, and Bader's going to be hung up. Second time in this series we've seen a runner. The other was Fowler in game 1, and this time Bader hung up between first and second.
Well, Yachty is terrific on the base pass and shows aggressiveness going first and third, and he read it perfectly, but Bader did not read it perfectly behind it. Yachty knew the ball was not hit that hard, so he could make it to third, and he worked hard to get there. And Bader thought the throw was going to third and he'd be able to make it to second, but the throw came to the cutoff man, Tatis.
Wong, little drag bunt, tough play, throw to first, save! He dropped down the bunt. Molina scores. What a play by Colton Wong, and he's done a little bit of everything in this game.
Outstanding bunt by Colton Wong, perfectly deadened on the drag bunt, which allows you to get out of the box quickly. You drag the bat with you while you're already moving, and he deadens it and takes off, and by the time the Padres react, it's too late and Molina scores. Great game today for Colton Wong.
Erlin and Hedges nearly collided, the pitcher and the catcher. And here's Jose Martinez. Wong playing at a different level than we've seen
offensively and defensively. The defense has always been good. We've seen that level, I should say it that way, but he made a terrific play earlier going back into shallow right field.
And we've always had glimpses of what could be a total package offensively, running, defense, range. But right now it's been a consistent package put together by Colton Wong to start this year.
Like he's finding out who he is as an offensive player.
Our Budweiser player of the game, Wong's second bunt hit of the year. Molina scoring, Waino loves it, and the Budweiser play of the game. The 1-1. A foul ball. 2 strikes on Jose Martinez. And scored Yadier Molina, who's enjoyed his 56th career 3-hit game here at Busch Stadium. Most all time at this ballpark. Albert Pujols second with 44. Inside 2-2. Albert hasn't been here in a long time, and he's still second on that list. He was pretty good, I guess.
I'll say.
The 2-2 pitch. And a ground ball. Backhanded by Tatis. Throws off balance, and the pick. Nicely done by Hosmer. Colton Wong, the bunt with 2 outs to score Molina. And a little cushion for St. Louis. 4-1.
Covering some ground today, Colton Wong, not just on the offensive side, but this play he made earlier defensively on a ball hit over his head. There's the route, and there's the distance covered, 88 feet. That's basically a base path. That's how far he went into shallow right field to make that play, and he did it quickly.
StatCast AI powered by AWS. Here's Hunter Renfroe. It's a big run the Cardinals get thanks to Wong. Renfroe a double into the left field corner back in inning number 4. He struck out twice. 2 balls and no strikes. And the 2-0 pitch. 3-0. Cardinals have used Brebbia, Miller, and now Hicks from the bullpen. Leadoff walk. There's Reyes, who walked against Brebbia back in the 7th. Grounded out and also flied out. Way outside. That's 5 straight balls to start the inning. Guy like Hicks, maybe you take 1, if not 2. And Yachty says, all right, call time and settle him down.
Funny how the plate starts to jump around on you a little bit. He came in, he was throwing strikes and good with his slider too. Sometimes you just go to the slider just to throw a different pitch. Missing with fastballs and maybe overthrowing them a little bit. And again, there's times where in the 9th inning, you know, pitchers try to get a little bit extra, and maybe you just got to stay where you are. Maybe that's the advice Yachty gave him.
You know, this is not foreign territory for Jordan Hicks to be closing games out. Did a little bit last year, but yet
not the most familiar territory.
Yeah.
Though.
And because of that, you got to wonder if Mike Schilt would think about getting somebody up and just have them ready, hot in case.
Wondering the same thing.
And the 2-1 pitch now to Reyes from Jordan Hicks. 2-2.
When you develop a closer, Dan, the mentality is you want them to realize they're last man standing, and you don't want to put doubt in their head that somebody's going to come help them. That's the one side. The other side is you don't want to bury somebody in a bad experience. And both those sides Mike Schilt is pondering.
2-2, a swing and a miss. After the visit, 3 strikes. And the second strikeout for Hicks.
Not the best of sliders, but not easy to hit. Got underneath it a little bit. Pretty good spin. Just didn't break. Didn't have time to break. Threw it too hard to break.
You had that problem, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, the break was a little more gravity oriented.
Here's Tatis Jr. with one out, runner at first, and a fastball strike. It looks like he settled back in here.
Think Yachty could be a pitching coach?
I think he could probably do anything he wants in the game.
I would agree with that.
It probably will when it's all said and done. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Slider and a beauty.
Oh, man.
Nothing at 2.
Nothing flat about that one.
After that visit by Molina, that's now 5 consecutive strikes thrown by Jordan Hicks. Tatis 0 for 3 today. And he struck him out. Back-to-back strikeouts. Jordan Hicks.
You just don't have time to react. You think it's a fastball, you start to give up on it, back off it a little bit because you think it's up and in, and that late break slider, and you have to take a seat.
2 outs. Runner at first, Austin Hedges, the final hope for the Padres. And strike 1. Goldschmidt moving behind the runner at first base. That's Renfroe. And the 0-1 pitch by Hicks. Ground ball to short. DeYoung across the diamond, and the Cardinals have their first win at home in 2019. They salvage a game in this series. They win it 4-1.
Hicks finishes it off, but the credit goes to Adam Wainwright. He was outstanding.
Big day for second baseman Colton Wong. A little bit of everything from Wong. The postgame show comes your way next.